Hey guys, Matt here, and I had a very good script for this video, but I decided to scrap most of it just because we're talking about net neutrality again, if you couldn't guess from the title, and I've been putting off this video just because it's boring and I'd rather play Warframe, but the more I wait, I notice two things. One, I now realize that what was once in weeks turned into it's now days. You'll understand that more once I actually get into what I have to say. And the second thing was, the more I waited, the more information I had. So my script was really good, very detailed, it had the most present facts, and I kept building on it, and as a result I had to scrap, again, most of my script. So I turned my script into individual points. So since we're talking about net neutrality, I'm just gonna dive right in. So for those that don't know, net neutrality is what keeps internet service providers, like Verizon and Comcast, from choosing what you can and can't see on the internet. Also, I know it's good practice to actually look at the face cam, but my points are all on a different screen, so I'll be back and forth. So the next point is, Obama, when he was president, made laws to protect net neutrality, but now FCC Chairman Ajit, something? AJIT, however you pronounce that. I think it's Ajit. I've been pronouncing it Ajit. So, that person plans to repeal these laws on December 14th. That's what I meant by what was weeks away turned into days away. As of recording this, which I am definitely uploading this the day I record it, it is the 4th, so we literally have 10 days to protect the internet. I'm sorry, I noticed this eye is more closed. Like, if I pull down, if I do this, it kind of looks even, but yeah, it looks like one of my eyes is closed. Anyways, that's beside the point. Obviously, the majority of people are for net neutrality. They like not having to pay for their services. So that kind of leads into this whole little brick about Ajit Pai, what information I've gathered from him. So he's supposed to help the consumer. That's what I don't know much about the FCC, but apparently it's designed to help the consumer, not the producer? Is that what people that give goods is called? The producer? Anyways, so the point is, he's doing the opposite by repealing net neutrality. He was also previously a lawyer for Verizon. And the worst point of all about him is that he won't change his mind about repealing net neutrality, despite literally millions of people's backlash towards the idea. Okay, if I do this, my eye kind of looks a bit more even. Yeah, that's hard to do. Okay, so I'm just gonna ignore the unevenness of my face for now. But anyways, back to the actual political thing. Trump doesn't even understand it, because he's comparing net neutrality to the fairness doctrine. Now, I have no idea what this is. I googled it, and pretty much the moral of the story is that the fairness doctrine was well, it wasn't the exact opposite, but in value-wise, like what it represents for the people, it's the exact opposite. The Fairness Doctrine wasn't actually very fair for the people. And so he says, oh, it's the new Fairness Doctrine, so we're gonna destroy it, when really it is the exact opposite. Yeah, I'm just going in circles now. So, now for a bit about the ISPs being internet service providers. So, they have done polls that show people care about net neutrality. Now, let's let that sink in. The people that this aids most is admitting that their consumers like net neutrality. So, yeah, and that's not where it ends. The second point was the ISPs have informed investors that net neutrality is not a hazard for their investment. What did I exactly say? Yeah, it doesn't harm their investment, so same thing. So, again, the internet service providers are stating that although it's nice for them to be able to have net neutrality gone, it's not required for them to be successful. And Ajit Pai knows this and still won't change his mind. Now for the more defensive things. Well, defensive meaning stuff that we can use. So granted, these statistics are a bit dated, because again, this was a few weeks ago, so it took me a while to actually get these statistics, so I'm not going to look for the update for them, but as of a few weeks ago, here were Congress's views on net neutrality. They're pretty much the only ones that can protect us at this point, but there are... Now, granted, this is per state. I have no idea how many congressmen were actually for or against, but generally I looked at, okay, which is the bigger number, except for neutrality, because well, I didn't really want to have to know how to measure that in for whether a state was for or against it. So there are 15 states that are for net neutrality, 33 against it, so that's already the majority. But the people that are neutral are only 2 states. Now, I just looked at what states did this. I didn't look at what the individual states were, so I don't know what state voted for which. Now, I'll eventually talk about the links in the description that I should put in. I hope I put in, but I'll say the links in the sites in the video, so you'll at least have that to work off of. But yeah, and one of the links you can look through and see, most importantly, if your state is for or against it in the Congress viewpoint, or whether or not, or if they're for it, or if they're the 2 that are neutral. So, now for the actual part of one of, I think, 2 parts of my script that actually fits in. Now, not only is there an end date, but the ISPs are already planning for net neutrality being gone. So, I've looked at a very common image in people's videos. I don't know what the source is, but there were two videos out of, I don't know how many videos I watched, but there were two of them, so I know it's most likely a valid source. So here's my family's cost based on those images. Of course, the internet is useless without a web browser, and we prefer to use Google instead of the ISP's internet browser, so that's already $5 a month. Now, social media is free, thank goodness, but my family usually watches Netflix at dinner, so that's another $10. Now, granted, these are per month. I forgot to mention that. So, we also use Amazon frequently, so that's another $5 a month. Finally, there's Steam, a site I use pretty much daily. That's $5 a month. So, in total, that's $25 a month, $300 a year. Is that right? I think that's right. Keep in mind, we don't look up the news online, or at least I don't think we do. I don't know where Mom gets her news, but I don't think it's from strict news sites. So, if we did, that would be another $5. We also use YouTube for music, so we don't use stuff like Pandora or Spotify, which would be $10 a month. If we did, however, that would raise the costs to $40 a month, $480 a year. That's almost $500 a year on just seeing the sites alone. So stuff like Amazon and like Steam, for example. Let's look at Steam, because that's the only one I really know a regular thing. So that's $5. Now, I don't know the exact average per game, but for bigger games, I usually see it's around $20 a month. Well, not $20 a month, that would be absurd. Like $20 as a base cost. So let's say you get one new game on Steam a month. That then turns to $25 a month. Now, that might not seem like that big of a difference, but especially for younger people, $5 is a big amount of money. So, now, if you can't pay, you either can't view the site at all, or your fancy fastest internet ever, as advertised, becomes slower than a snail. Now, Congress is our only real hope in protecting net neutrality at this point, what with people not actually caring about what, well, the people say. But I still believe that we should fight in every way that we can, even if it won't do something. And I still believe at some level it will do something if we can get enough of the human aspect in it. So, in the description, I should put 5 links about how you can defend net neutrality. The first one on my list is house.gov. It finds and gives contact info for your Congress representative. And I forgot to fill in all of them, but so the next one is actfreepress.net. I'm sure that it'll be fairly obvious how to get to it. If not, again, I'll put the direct link in. So, actfreepress.net and battleforthenet.com are very similar. They both are advertising each other on their sites, or at least Battle for the Net is. So they are basically your petitions for proving that you want net neutrality to stay. And furthermore, well, the Act Free Press is Battle for the Net is more of a direct messaging, like a message system for. Let me actually look into these. Let me pull these up. So, freepress.net. I put them on bookmarks. And where are you? And that so Battle for the Net has an automated email you can send. However, you can write your own, and I highly suggest you write your own because bots have become a big problem. And Free Press is another email thing that kind of sends an email to the FCC about net neutrality, about how you want to save net neutrality. And so, but that one doesn't have an automated message you can send. You actually have to write your own, which again, it's very good because bots are a problem. Now, the next one is, I think, the FCC website, where you can submit a form that sends a note to the FCC. It's just a general thing that the FCC does. In this case, you would want to write about net neutrality and how you want it to stay. And then finally, callmycongress.com. It's essentially the same as house.gov, but gives you both your phone, which I made a typo, I put a W at the end, and their Twitter, plus it gives you access to senators. Now, I don't understand government structure very well. I've never gotten the chance to actually get to that in school, so I don't know what representative and senator means. But they're part of government, and they can affect net neutrality in some way, so I'm assuming it's a good thing. Now, like I was saying before, unknown sources, I did list one, but there was an unknown source against net neutrality that was sending false responses against net neutrality on the FCC website, and when told to investigate, the FCC ignored it so that they could use that as defense not to care about the people, not to care about what the people say. Now, so this means that automated responses are useless. If you find anything with an automated response, try to find a way to write your own message, and if not, please don't send the message, because it'll do more harm than good if it's automated. Now, another very important fact is, you don't have to be 18 to contact your local Congress. So if you're like me, you're old enough to understand what this means, but you're not necessarily old enough to have the same rights as an adult, you can still contact Congress and tell them not to do this, and I think you can still sign petitions. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm gonna sign a petition, I don't think I really got any petitions. Let's see. Take action, write Congress. Yeah, none of them were actual petitions, I don't think. Either that or I don't fully understand what a petition is. So, yeah, that's a summary of what action you can take. So, pretty much, whether you use the internet for work or play, for family or information, for spreading your message or receiving one, net neutrality is for you. Now, I kind of wanted that to be where I ended it, but I do kind of want to put an outro. So, anyways, with all this in mind, please, we have 10 days to defend net neutrality. Please take action now before it's too late. I'm Matt, or the Gold Ribbon Gamer, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye.